Apple iPhones cannot be made in the USA. Or can they? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning, and that is it. The zing is so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking space, SpaceX, Starlink, Linux, all kinds of good stuff. So today is going to be an Apple Day. A little bit different, just slightly on the tech side, but this article just kind of got me burned up a little bit, and I want to bring this to your attention because I want to know your thoughts. You know, this channel is all about my thoughts, but most importantly, it's you down below in the comments, because you guys are what make this community as awesome as it is. We're sitting at about, 130-some thousand of you now? It's a lot. Unbelievable. Anyways, I was reading an article over on 9to5Mac, and obviously, they're a little bit biased, so I'm going to give you the contrarian view on their article because I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a minute, and I want to know what you think. I'm going to read to you some of this article, and then once again, I'm going to give you my commentary, but after, down below, I want to hear from you. And if you're shy, you don't want to put anything down there, throw an emoji down there. That would be fine. At least I know that you actually watched the video. If you enjoy the content, even in the least, throw the video a thumbs up. That would be very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. I appreciate it. Click this notification button over here so when I go live, when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want to say thank you for all of my hard work on this channel, there's a little thank you button down here. Click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. The video is still free. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you want more SpaceX Starlink content, specifically SpaceX Starlink, I have over, I think, 465 videos just for you. I'll put a link here. Don't click on it yet. When you're done watching this video, click over there and you'll see a whole bunch of helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do, what to buy, what not to buy, and of course the why behind everything, because this channel is always about the why. It's the thinking that's the most important thing. I wish our kids in school would learn more about how to think and not how to memorize nonsense. Anyways, that's for another video, isn't it? So 9to5Mac puts together this article. I'm going to read once again some of it to you, and then I think I'm going to just do a complete rebuttal to it because it needs it. So it starts out by saying why iPhones can't be made in the US, according to a former Apple engineer. Former Apple engineer Matthew Moore, along with analysts and supply chain experts, is once again confirming what Apple has long said. Making iPhones in the United States is not just expensive, it's virtually impossible. Despite President Trump's call to force companies like Apple to manufacture domestically, those inside the industry paint a very different picture. Apple's CEO Tim Cook made this clear as early as 2015 when he explained just how much the US lost its manufacturing edge. Quote, this is from Cook. China put an enormous focus on manufacturing. The US over time began to stop having as many vocational kind of skills. I mean, you can take every tool and die maker in the United States and probably put them in a room that we're currently sitting in. In China, you would have to have multiple football fields. And I agree with that statement. You do not have a lot of tool and die makers here in the US, but that's a problem that could be corrected. Let's go on. Even under ideal circumstances, Apple could only do what's been dubbed, quote, final screw engineering, where nearly finished iPhones are shipped into the United States for 1 to 2 last assembly steps. Apple has used this approach in Brazil before, mainly to meet legal and trade requirements. Experts say the cost would be staggering. Dan Ives, a top analyst at Wedbush Securities, broke down the scale of the problem in a note to investors, explaining that even shifting a small portion of Apple's supply chain would come with massive disruption. Quote, the reality is it would take 3 years and $30 billion in our estimation to move even 10% of the supply chain from Asia to the US, with major disruptions in the process. And the cost to consumers? Ives didn't sugarcoat it. Of course he didn't. If consumers want to pay $3,500 for an iPhone, we should make them in New Jersey and Texas or another state. Apple's supply chain involves thousands of companies, mostly in Asia, and replicating that infrastructure in the US just isn't feasible. That's something US investor bank Evercore also pointed out. The US economy is not set up to be able to assemble mobile phones. They do not have the facilities or the flexible labor. To train 200,000 to 300,000 people to come in and assemble iPhones is simply not practical. An impossible workforce challenge. Former Apple manufacturing engineer Matthew Moore put it even more bluntly when speaking to Bloomberg. There are millions of people employed by Apple's supply chain in China, he said. What city in America is going to put everything down and build only iPhones? Boston is over 500,000 people. The whole city would need to stop everything and start assembling iPhones. What an idiot. And even if the assembly somehow moved to the US, Apple would still need to import most components and pay tariffs for them. The bottom line, what Trump wants is not just unrealistic, it's unworkable. And the people who've actually built the iPhone say it's not happening. This is the type of thing that you hear all the time, this fear-mongering, this rhetoric, this nonsense that we can't do it. We give up. We should kick the can down the road another decade, another 2 decades. Let our kids and our kids' kids suffer the consequences. Keep kicking the can like has been done before. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should feel the pain this time. Anyways, before I get too deep into a rant, let me say I put in a couple of notes on why I think this is just absolutely obscene. Just to listen to some of this is just aggravating. One of the things is the idea that Apple can't afford, right, a facility is absolutely ridiculous. Remember, they said that they were going to put $500 billion into new factories, right? Into something big. They're going to invest $500 billion. That's $500 billion. That's not a little. Think about this. Apple has $160 billion in cash laying around. Let me repeat it. $160 billion in cash. They have around $3 trillion of a total market cap. $3 trillion. Do you think that $500 billion is a big deal for them? No, because it is going to be a big deal for them. No, because it's not going to be detrimental to them. It's going to be a big deal, but it's going to be a positive big deal. Now, why is that? I liken it to Henry Ford. Think about it. You have engineers building robotic arms. You have software devs coding like precision tasks. You have sensors and you have AI and you have machine learning and all kinds of means of detecting defects real time. All kinds of stuff. You know what? This is not about the final screws that they keep talking about. It's not about the final screws. That is a ridiculous notion. It's about a smart factory system, a Gigafactory system. You see where I'm going with it? Tesla. What Amazon is doing. Think about what Amazon does on a daily basis. That automation, the AI involved. Think about the Tesla's automation with their Gigafactory. Just think about what Apple does with their disassembly plants that are touch-free. They call them zero-touch product pipelines, I think is what they call it. They literally throw the iPhone, it literally does it does everything. You don't have to do nothing. You don't need 200, 300, 500,000 people screwing screws. Idiots. You need a damn gigaplant that's run by robots. And then everyone that is working these gigaplants are getting paid well because they are now devs. They are coders. They are people that are engineers working on the robotics. All right? They're not people sitting there just screwing in screws. It's ridiculous. And what is this $3,500 iPhone nonsense? Fear-mongering. It is a bunch of BS. Just think about mass automation. Think about domestic scaling. You know, this would all control cost. It's not going to triple the cost. What did this Dan Ives guy say? What did he say? He says, quote, US-made iPhones would cost $3,500. Yeah, it's a cool story and all, but what, does he live in a vacuum? What is this, like 1999 again? I mean, just ridiculous. I mean, does he not know we have AI, we have automation like crazy, we have means to real time see if there's defects? He doesn't realize that we have robots that are just absolutely crazy nuts in these massive plants that are touch-free, that will take raw materials and then spit out a product with no one touching it? I mean, where's this guy been? $3,500. I mean, what kind of nonsense? Just be real about it. You know, costs will come down at scale. That's just simply what it does. Automation will flatten the labor costs right across the board. Some people will be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose my job. No, what's gonna be lost is those jobs that you don't want anyways. You don't want to screw in a screw. You want to learn something, become a programmer, become a dev, some type of developer. You want to become someone that actually can work on robotics. Next generation economy, next generation labor force, not the old labor force screwing in screws. Just stop already. It is just crazy. But you got to look at it this way too. Who's going to buy a $3,500 Apple phone? I wouldn't. And I guarantee you wouldn't either. There'll be a few elite that say, yes, we must have our $3,500 Apple product, but the majority of us are gonna be like, no, we're gonna look at Google. We're gonna look at Samsung. And if it's not Google or Samsung, it's gonna be some other US-based startup that can fill the damn gap. If Apple leaves a gap, it will be filled. This happens with every company. Also, there's something to be said about made in the USA, isn't there? You know, it's patriotic. You know, people think about this, they're like, you know what? I want to buy that Apple product. It's made in the USA. Not the nonsense that they do now, developed in California in the US, but built in China. Just stop already. Just stop. They want to see made in the USA. Just like in Canada now. They are promoting made in Canada. I'm glad that they're doing it. Give their people the work. All right, buy locally if you can. If you can't, okay, but if you can, do it. And what they're saying here is complete BS, that it can't be done, guys. It can't be done. You know, supply chain resilience really matters. And it matters now more than ever. After the pandemic, with the whole geopolitical stuff going on, getting crap from Asia is risky. It's not the way it used to be in the long term. To be able to get and manufacture and get the raw materials in the US and do it from soup to nuts is just simply safer, strategically safer for this country. Not just for Apple. Like I said, Apple could become the next Henry Ford if this plant is just amazing, which they can do with $500 billion, guys. $500 billion, that's a lot of money. That's not a little bit of money. So once again, instead of having screwers and boxers, you're gonna have engineers, you're gonna have robotics, you're gonna have people that are working on AI and the software. Wages are gonna go up. Nobody wants laborer wages. Think about it. It is just absolute, in its face, ridiculous. And it is a defeatist attitude. And that is the problem with a lot of people in America right now. They are defeatists. We can't do it. Oh my God, we're gonna suffer. Where are we going to get our batteries if we can't get our batteries from Amazon Basics or Amazon Essentials? What are we going to do? It is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So that's my thought on it. I hope that Apple and a lot of other companies become more patriotic. And if it's not just for the sheer patriotism of it, it's for their bottom line and the security of our nation. We cannot be dependent on others. We need to be self-reliant. What say you? Down below, I would love to hear your thoughts. Finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all of my merch and my tees and my shirts and my books and everything else. If there's something there that you like, please pick it up. Help support me and my family. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.